Hello everyone, my name is Relax and Panic and this is another reaction to Sakurasou no Pet na Kanojo. It is episode 4 and you know what to do. As always, if you want to see the reaction itself, just go down into my descriptions, follow the links, replace the parentheses dot parts with real dots and enjoy. Once you've done, feel free to come back here and hear my thoughts about this episode. So, see you soon. For those that came back, welcome back. As I already said, a really good episode. I like that a lot. I mean, you could see and feel a lot of the characters and how surprisingly aware they are, how empathic they are towards mainly what Kanda is feeling, right? I mean, this episode was clearly his struggles, as it was in many of the past ones, no question there. But for me, it felt a lot like it was about other characters and how they realized how he feels and they reflected it to him, and I really liked that. It was a cool thing. So he does this nice little gestures which he did in the past as well, and that's something that came through all of this episode as well. So the fact that he put the Baumkuchen in front of her room as example, that is a very nice gesture. It is one I don't know, but it's very uncommon for friends to do. So I think he is there. He possibly doesn't realize, but doing stuff like that will very likely cause girls to like you more and think about something like a relationship. I mean, if you make breakfast for someone, that is, at least as far as I know, generally one of those things which you do for someone you are having a relationship with. So yes, he cares for her, that's one thing. So I can see that. But putting especially the stuff that she likes very much is like a small gift. So that's something I realized about him. But it was more about, as I said, his development in this episode. So Sheena, or Mashiro, worked like a maniac to finish this manga, and she, I mean, you could guess that she tried to do it for him in some weird kind of way, or maybe the fact that he's leaving spurred her on in some kind of panic mode, I don't know. But she is extremely determined on what she does, so that is something she chose herself, and it is important to her. As you can see by the way that she works. But you can see it especially in the end, and I think there was an important moment. The fact that she got her debut and is crying about it out of happiness, which she doesn't know. She does not know that. She reflected on that. She said, I'm happy, but why do I cry? So she did not know that. It never happened to her. And that's how you can see, because she's a sincere person in her actions, that she dearly loves to do that. So it is really, really important to her. It's a cool thing. I like that a lot. We had some small things happening between Misaki and Mikata. So there was this wish, like that one here, right? That he would look her way. I mean, he knows that it is him. And this, in my opinion, not so small gesture, but still, this gesture here from Shina Mashiro, that Sorata's wish will come true. Oh, by the way, no, I have the name there. Because that is, I reflected on that already during watching, during reacting. That is a pure wish. If you do not wish anything for yourself, but you wish for someone else without any thoughts of your own good there. So that is a pure wish, and it shows again that she is a pure soul. She has a pure heart, and is a good person. And that was something that got him. I mean, no question there. He realized that. And then her entry was removed, and he told her that she's good and she should continue, stuff like that. And there are two things happening. So one thing, he himself talks to himself during that. That was cool. So this moment of, that's not what I want to say. It was a thing, you know? Don't you worry, there's another competition coming. And meanwhile, he says this, his inner voice is saying, that's not what I want to say. So he wants to say, I guess, like, I'm sorry. I feel bad for you, something like that, but he can't. So there is a like emotional barrier. And he realizes that. And it led to, in my opinion, one of the greatest things here in this episode, this small discussion between Kanda Sorata and Mikata in the rain, right? Where they talk about that they seem to have kind of a similar relationship to the girls. So in case of Mikata, it is towards Misaki. So although Mikata seems to be like the, you know, the stand-up, very adult person who is successful in his very own way and knows what he wants, right? And Misaki seems like the freaky and a bit out of whatever thing girl. As a matter of fact, from his perspective, and he might be right there, she has more talent. And as far as I understood him, way more talent. So he feels under pressure of realizing that he cannot keep up with her. And in many ways, that's the same thing for Kanda and Shiina. The fact that he sees Shiina as being incredibly good, incredibly gifted and talented, and Sorata just like limping behind. So he feels this strange wish that they talk about of seeing the other ones fail, while at the same time wishing them good. This seeing those fail that are good at something, that are gifted, is I think something we all know. It is this weird and kind of very negative thing of like lifting ourselves up, getting closer to the level of the good ones, right, of the gifted ones, if they stumble and fall. There is, however, this weird thing in, I guess, like all humankind, that we have this wish of seeing the high and mighty fall. There are reasons why all those newspapers are very much handling the aristocracy and kings and queens and princes. Who are they marrying? And they are always pointing out as well if they fail, and they do it immensely, extensively, in a way that is hurtful. No question there. I mean, if we think about it, you have like a personal loss, or you fail on something that is really important to you, and then there are people who are pointing at it and saying, ha, see, you can't do that either. See, they fail as well. It's hurtful. So I see that they feel bad about it as well, because they're aware that this is not a nice wish. So that's one side of the medal. The other one, and that is the one that I think Mikata is struggling a lot with, is the fact that he wants to be with her, that he really, really likes Misaki. He possibly even loves her, right? I mean, the question was in the room, and Kanda got punched for it. But he cannot, because he is afraid. He's afraid that he will not keep up, that he will not be enough for her, that he is not as good as she maybe sees him, or as he should be. So, and that one struck me, because as weird as it is in my personal life in the past, I had something like that as well. So I had a really, really, really good female friend of mine, who I was thinking about if there could be more. And I myself made the decision not to go for anything more, because I realized, damn man, that girl is so out of your league. So it's the exact same thing there. I don't know if it was the right choice. I can't tell you, seriously. But there are sometimes those stars, those gifted persons, who sometimes sadly don't even are aware of that, who are just good at what they do. So very often artists, sure, or some kind of craftsman, who are gifted at this thing mainly because they do what they love, right? I mean, it's possibly always like that. If a human being does something for work or whatever, like to earn their money, what they really, really love and appreciate, their main hobby, the thing they burn for, then the results are incredible. The amount of work they put in there are incredible, because you cannot, as someone who doesn't have that, understand that you like 24 hours a day do that. If you're not sleeping, you're working. But for them, it's not working then, because that is what they love. So even if they are not working on something, they're thinking about it and talking about it and stuff like that. Yeah, right? So this drive, this energy, makes them someone you admire, kind of, right? So at least that was it for me. I admired that woman for her drive, for her abilities, for her skill, and for how to say it, how self-made she was, right? So she was her. No outside interference, no outside moving of her. She did her way, and that was the main thing I loved about that. And I realized, damn, I'm not that. I was very much Kanda at that time. I really have to admit it. I was very much like that. I don't know what I want to do, maybe, but maybe not that. It's just working out, more neither okayish at the moment. So always swimming with the water, floating with the wind, right? And then there's someone like that who is like, this direction, I know where I want to go. Yeah. So I very, very much understand Mikata here in the point of, I don't know if that would work out. I cannot do that. So I'm with you there. So he didn't give her the necklace yet, and I kind of hope for that he will do in the future. Because I mean, he may not be on her level, possibly, right? Okay. But Mikata is really good at what he does. Which brings us over to Kanda. So kind of similar situation with Sheena. Just that Kanda was floating and not knowing where to go. And during this episode, he finally realized for himself as well that he has another wish, or one wish, right? And that is to design games. That is what he really wants to do. But he was afraid of admitting it to himself because he was afraid of failure. He was afraid of failing. And I can see that. So many people are kind of trapped, as I see it very often, especially in their work life. So they are in a job or in a direction of jobs, multiple ones, where they're more neither okay, right? So where it is like, that's something you can do. You can live from that. But it's not what they really want. But the option of changing jobs, of learning something completely new out of zero, right, is something you can be afraid of a lot. Because what if it doesn't work? Then you lost your old job. You're possibly not able to go back in very easily. And the new one failed, and everyone will look at you like you're a failure, and what are you doing, right? Stuff like that is in your mind all the time. So that's why many people do not change jobs. They are like, I will stay where I am. And that's the question, the big question. What do you want to do? So either you go on like that and feel always a bit like you could have done something else, or you realize what you want. And if you really want it, really want it, you should change. That's the thing. Yes, and you might fail, but what? It is your choice. So there's nothing to blame about. There was something I wanted to try. I tried. It didn't work out. Happens. That's life. You know, it's struggle. You learn from it and continue. I did that. Still do. So, as example, those reactions here. I just wanted to do it, so I tried. And it kind of works out. At least I hope. I'm rambling. I'm sorry. So, let's get back on the series. Talent people tear others apart. That was the main sentence for me as well in this episode, and I can understand that. If you are next to talented people, if you see them, you feel unworthy, lowered somehow, right? So you feel like, is that what I should be like? So you feel bad, and it's not that those talented people want to do it. They don't put it into your face, right? They are not like, here, look, I'm better than you. They just do it. They just work, right? And you're around and realize, okay, this person here, let's say someone who paints, like Sheena. She's like running around, and you're at a party, and she's like, "Oh, that looks lovely. Look," takes a pen and a bit of paper and does like that, and has a beautiful picture. And you're like, "I couldn't do that in a year. No chance." Right? And you feel like, "Wow, okay, I feel a bit bad about myself, a bit." Right? So I do see that. I had birthday quite a while ago now, and I got a picture from a female friend of mine who's an artist and really, really good at what she does. And she was like, I'm an artist, so I do not have any money. So for your birthday, I gave you this. And she gave me a picture that she painted of one of my characters. And it's standing next to me right now. And it's one of those things where I was like, holy heck. Okay, that's possibly like the best thing I got. Because it's personal, right? It's personal, it's made by herself. Out of her soul, out of her spirit, whatever you want to call it. So, it's really good. But you ask yourself, am I on that level? So tearing you apart at least a bit. I'm old enough. I tear myself apart enough, it's okay. Then we have the one moment with Ayoma, and that is the one that pains me in this series in general. So we have this situation of Kanda between two girls right now. And Ayoma is a really nice girl, and she realizes while they were walking on the street that he does not feel good. That's what I said about being empathic, and that the characters react to him this episode especially. So she realizes he is not fine. And I mean, she wants him to leave, right? For her perfect image of him, as far as I understood it so far, she wants him to be out of Sakurasou and closer to her by doing that, I guess. And not with all those crazy ones. But even she realized, okay, this is not working, something's wrong. Are you sure about doing this, about leaving Sakurasou? So she goes against her own wish, because she likes him, so she questions it. I'm a bit sad that she wasn't able to finish it, so he possibly didn't even realize it there, which is bad for her, right? He got closer to Sheena in this episode a lot, I think. And it is a struggle between multiple characters, the typical three-parter here, one boy, two girls, or whatever. Like never works out. So I feel bad about her. Maybe there's someone else coming along. I don't know. Ayano is kind of moving him where she wants him. So she's kind of using him to get Sheena to grow as well. Not Ayano, sorry. Oh no, it was Ayano. And then we have the ending. So he realized something about her. He gave his paper where he wants to go, art department, which is cool. And we have the wish of being called by her first name, Mashiro. So that brings him closer a lot. We have Mikata and Misaki standing outside. So once again, people being aware about him and what's happening, which is Mikata here, who stops Misaki into going in, and who's like, give them the time, they will need it now. That is an important moment for them. As well as Misaki's example, making Sheena dress beautifully in the beginning of the episode and then presenting her to Kanda, being aware that it is important for both of them, and he screwed it up, whatever. But there are beautiful moments, and then when all of this finishes up and they're all like happily ever after and stuff, he's staying. Akasaku being in the background as always, but incredibly helpful with the books. I mean, he is the one that got asked, and I think he realized how important this moment is, so he gave those programming books to him. Once again, someone else realizing something about Kanda and pushing him a bit there. And all those characters supported him in this episode. And then there's the one in the background, the teacher, who always seems like, hey, yeah, I'm not really here. And I'm always a bit drunk and whatever. But she's sitting on the stairs while all of this is happening in this small room. And then just stands up and leaves. So she is aware of what's happening and kind of did her job there. Although you do not see that very much. Kind of best teacher, right? She does not have to be there so that you can see she did something or that she is near you and helps you. She just stares from afar. We don't see much of that, so we cannot say for sure how much she does. But all those characters that we have in this episode, in the Sakurasou, are kind of behaving in a way that they partially at least learned from her. So she is aware of how they act and interact. Good teacher. As I said, it was a good episode. I like that a lot. And now we kind of set. I would say we kind of finished a small arc, which is Kanda finding out where he wants to go. So now he knows. What's next? That's a big question. We have a little like foreshadowing here with more girls coming in. I am not sure if I'm happy about that. I mean, it's already enough girls. But we will see. That's it from me this time. I hope you liked. I did for sure. And I will see you the next time. Until then, feel free to comment, like, and subscribe. My name is Relax and Panic. Goodbye and out.